So I thought I'd make a video and kind of go over a little bit of my vision and plan for what the car is actually going to look like, the cosmetics of it, because I'm getting into body work, and so it seems like a good time to kind of do that. I thought about doing it earlier in the video series, but as you will see as we go through here, I've changed my mind a whole bunch of times. This is, I guess, the very first rendering I did. You can see that was on February 27th of 2019, so 16 months ago at this point, when I first decided I was going to buy the 818 kit. I'd always wanted a car with red seats, and so that was my initial vision. A lot of stuff was based around having red seats. And then I thought blue or silver or white or black would go great with red seats. I'm not a fan of black on a lot of sports cars with curves, because it kind of hides all the curves. And so I was really not looking at black. I don't like white because it seems plain to me, and also kind of hard to keep clean. So I was looking at blues and silvers, but also some other stuff. So this was the first rendering I did. It was blue with red interior. The lights were kind of based on the new 818, even though my 818 is a Gen 1. You can buy an upgrade kit to upgrade them to the Gen 2s. And then, as you can see on the bottom, compared to a regular 818, let's see if I've got a picture of an 818. Here's one that's unmodified. I had opened up the front opening a whole bunch. So that was my very first sketch right there. The next thing I looked at was a different style headlight and also a different front opening. Once again, a much bigger opening, but more curved with some wider and shorter lights. Also was trying to figure out what a hardtop would look like on this one. So let's see, I looked at it in red, but I've kind of got a bias against red. I had an Arrest Me red car when I was kind of a senior in high school, first couple of years of college, and I got more tickets in that red car than I got in every other car I've ever driven combined. And the truth is, I'm a lot older now. I don't drive nearly as fast as I used to, and when you're driving a custom-built car, you're going to be a magnet for cops no matter what you drive. But for some reason, I still got a bias against it. I love yellow cars. I really love yellow sports cars. I don't know. I'm afraid one day I'm just going to wake up and go, oh my God, I've got a yellow car. Although I think yellow with red seats could have looked really cool too. I'm also a fan of this like Kawasaki green. One day I'm going to build a car that's this color, but I don't think it's going to be this one. Well, it's definitely not going to be this one at this point, but even at the time I didn't think it was going to be this one. So next thing I did was try to take some pictures of a real one, and just do some color modifications on it or some sketching on top of it. I was still really new at the software. Now, my artwork is always going to be terrible, but this was exceptionally terrible. But still going with the blue and red here, opening up the front grille. This one had more of, I guess, an Audi R8 style grille with the three pieces on it. So the next thing I looked at was maybe a camel colored interior. I'm really not a fan of black interiors. I've always been a fan of this camel colored interior. So I looked at that in red and yellow and possibly blue, and maybe even the green. So then I was trying to do some sketches on the rear. I was originally thinking about a center mounted exhaust. That's what those two little white circles are. But I've heard that really creates a lot of exhaust smell inside the car, so I moved away from that for that reason. I also knew I wanted to do a top, so I looked at some interesting tops that other people had done. And then I started to look at possibly accent colors, so striping in different colors. I looked at several different shades of blue, looked at some different shades of other colors and how the different accents would look on them. And then I started to decide that, well, I'm a long way from deciding the color. Let's look at some other things. And if the very first couple of videos in this series were actually around modifying the front end with different headlights, and I was going to modify the nose, before I realized that I was going to have it on the frame to do that. So I started looking at different front ends. This is very analogous to the very first sketch I did, where it's just a really wide opening at the front with a splitter at the bottom and possibly some carbon fiber trim around the opening. This one is kind of modeled a little bit, I guess, after the Ford GT, like the 2017 Ford GT, where you've kind of got a double opening there where one's inset further than the other. I know my sketches are terrible. It's hard to understand what I was going for there. It just turned out looking like a catfish. This is, I guess, kind of like some of the Lamborghinis, where it just had a couple of straight up pillars in the middle and then an inverted opening there. This was another attempt at the Ford GT. This was more Audi R8 inspired there. And so, I was just trying to get a feel for maybe what I wanted the front end to look like. And so, I started playing with them in color. It looks a little better in color. You can see more what I was going for in a lot of those places. And then I saw this picture here, and that's what really keyed me on to the copper color. There's actually a Mustang forum that I'm a member of, because as you've seen in a couple of the videos, I've got a 65 Mustang, and a guy painted his 69 Mustang about this color, and I fell in love with the color. And then when I saw it on this car, I was just, there's quite a few orange 818s out there, and I'm real big on trying to be unique and not follow what other people do, but man, this car just wears this orange or copper so well that I really think that's where I'm going. I mean, I've obviously done some stuff in copper now, the valve covers, the intake manifold, the shifter, they've all got this like copper color on them. So I don't see how I can get away from having copper as one of the colors of the car, even if it's not the primary color of the car. Looking at a hardtop, because I do want to make a hardtop. I don't like the factory 5 hardtop. Here's a picture of the factory 5 hardtop, and as you can see, the roof line comes way back, almost to the spoiler, and to me it looks almost like a Subaru BRX or something like that, that's front engined rear wheel drive. And I guess in a way it looks kind of like a Porsche Cayman, although even the Cayman's got a little shorter roofline. This is really what I would like my roofline to look like. I have no idea what car this is. I think it's just somebody's sketch on the internet. I haven't been able to figure out what car it is. If anybody knows what car it is, feel free to drop a comment and let me know. But this is more the profile I'm going to go for when I try to make my my custom hardtop. So I knew at this point kind of what I wanted everything to look like, so I started playing with different color combinations. As I mentioned, I really love the Kawasaki green, and I guess at this point I bought black seats because I couldn't find seats I liked in Camel or red, so I'd resolved myself to black seats. So I started playing with what the exterior colors were going to be. And so this was my first attempt at a copper and blue, and I played that Kawasaki green in there. I think my problem with the blue and orange is it looks like it's a car that's designed to be for a sports team, like the Florida Gators or the Boise State Broncos. Those are teams with orange and blue, and I'm just afraid it looks like a mascot with the orange and blue. The gray and orange I think looks a lot better. It doesn't look as much like a mascot, so to speak. The green didn't look great in there, but I tried it. Here's orange and gray in a different color combination. I tried the orange and blue again, still looked like a mascot. Here's some getting a little bizarre with the orange and gray on where the two-tone lines were going to be. I thought maybe I'd try something else. Orange and blue, didn't like it either. Tried green and blue with the copper accent. I guess it doesn't look like a mascot, but it still doesn't look right to me. So I tried a couple of different things here. You can see I played with a lot of different colors. I really wanted to get the Kawasaki green in there. I just couldn't figure out how to do it. So the next thing I started looking at was accents on the side, because the door, well, the scoop, let's talk about the scoop. The top side of the scoop comes out and up, and what it does is it plays into a line that's on the door, and I don't think we can really see it in any picture, and that's part of the problem. You can barely see it in this picture. It runs from the mirror, the side view mirror, over to the scoop. It looks almost like a shadow in that picture. In this picture you can't see it at all. In this picture you can't see it at all. In this picture you can kind of see it. You can see the shadows play a little different, running from the very bottom of the side view mirror back into the scoop. So it's designed to be a body line, even though it's almost invisible. And so I was playing with some side graphics, trying to see if I could get them to accent that body line and make it look good. So that's kind of what these sketches right through here were, along with some different hood scoop designs. Was trying to play with the side accent and see if you could make that body line jump out. Although I don't feel like I was ever really successful at that. I'm actually going to be eliminating that body line. We'll get to that in a minute, maybe. I take screenshots all the time of different things, concepts I think I might want to apply to the car. You can see here is kind of where I was sketching out what I hope the interior might look like. Those are what my seats look like, and so I was trying to figure out how I wanted the accents and trims to look there. And so that brings us to about where we are today, where I think I've about nailed down what I want the car to look like, at least as far as I know, until I start body working it. But so I'm going to start the kind of the way you need to put the body together is you got to get the side panels on, because those kind of set where everything is. Those bolt to the frame, and that's the part that encompasses the rear quarter panel and comes down below the door, and it has the scoop. So you put that on, and then you put your doors on, and then you put your fenders on, and then you put your hood on, and then you put your nose on. So you kind of work from back to front. So I'm working on the quarter panel first, and as you can see in this sketch, I've eliminated that body line that runs from the side view mirror to the scoop and makes the scoop open upwards. And instead, I've taken that body line, or the scoop, and made it follow the quarter panel line. So the scoop is going to follow the quarter panel line on the top instead of the door line. And then I'll just I'll put some fiberglass on the back side of the door, sand that sharp corner out and make it smooth, and we'll just eliminate that body line. So the scoop will follow the body line. It's going to get opened up and go inwards so that it's deeper. And then the headlights, these are modeled after modern Toyota Celica, or not modern, but the last generation Toyota Celica headlights. I think those will look real good. I've still got the Accord lights that I bought when I was still thinking about doing horizontal lights, but I think with the nose design I've come up with, the vertical lights are going to look better than the horizontal lights. And then as far as the nose goes, I plan to have a big opening with some small openings on the side, but not square openings like some of my early pictures. They're actually going to go in and look like ducts. They'll be narrow and deep, kind of like brake ducts, although I don't think I need brake cooling. I'll probably just use them to duct cool air, possibly down the sides where the radiator hoses are. And then a three-piece splitter made out of or wrapped in carbon fiber that kind of splits the big opening in the middle into three pieces. So that's kind of what I think I'm at. And then I'm going to go for trying to design a target top. Rather than having a Roadster, I kind of want to design a target top. So and then I think I've got a sketch of approximately what I want the back to look like. I may go with 4 lights instead of 2, but I'm thinking right now I'm going to stick with 2, go with an accent color, and then probably a much bigger diffuser than the car really came with. I think I want my diffuser to be a lot wider. I'll have to see there how it all comes together in the end. And then I do have a sketch of what it would look like with the Accord lights instead of the Celica lights, since I've already got those. We'll have to see when I start putting the front end together if which direction I decide to go. So that's that's kind of where I think I am. I think that this one right here is about where I want to be. So I'm going to start the body work and see what I wind up with, and go from there. But copper, some gray accents, really just on the hood, and then carbon fiber rocker extensions and splitter up front. So we'll see how close I can come to actually pulling this off as a not novice but certainly not expert body guy.